Welcome to the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium, where new chapters were written in the BWF World Championships. In the 8-day tournament, we saw defending champions who prevailed in the toughest battles.
Akane Yamaguchi wins her second consecutive world title.
Former winners who couldn't stop winning.
They've done it.
And history makers who became their nation's first world champions.
But the world champions and the gold medals are around the necks.
It's time now to relive their paths to coronation in this TotalEnergies BWF World Championships 2022 review show. World number 1 Viktor Axelsson arrived in Tokyo as the hot favorite to regain the world title. It was here last year where he scaled the pinnacle of his career with the Olympic gold medal. The 2017 champion had also enjoyed a scintillating season with just one defeat back in March before kickstarting a 32-match unbeaten run. He kicked off proceedings against Malaysia's Darren Liu and ensured there was no repeat of a shock first-round exit in Huelva last year. Dutchman Mark Kallio was next in Axelsson's sights. And just like against Liu, Axelsson encountered turbulence in the opening game before winning it in straight games. Up against Thailand's Sittikom Thammasin in the third round, Axelsson blasted out of the blocks and found himself 7 game points up. Thammasin's valiant effort of saving 6 of those proved futile as Axelsson nicked the first game 21-19. The Dane took full control in the next game and shut the door on the Thai's challenge. So on to the quarterfinals, as Axelsson went up against Anthony Sinisuka Ginting. Axelsson had beaten the Indonesian in all 3 of his tournament conquests prior to Tokyo, 2 of them going the distance. There was no suggestion of a laborious matchup as Axelsson started racking up the points with relative ease.
What a rally. Oh, brilliant!
Axelsson hit top form at the right time.
Brilliant, utterly brilliant from Axelsson.
A 21-10, 21-10 win, taking him another step closer to a second world title. To the last 4, where Axelsson was pitted against Chinese Taipei's Chou Tianchen. Axelsson was triumphant in 15 of their past 17 meetings, and win number 16 looked to be on the cards as Axelsson stamped his authority from the get-go as he grabbed the first game 21-15. The 4th-seeded Chou went toe-to-toe with Axelsson in the second and was leading 16-14. But Axelsson produced a series of slick plays, wowing the crowd as he repelled Chou's attacks.
That's amazing. And again. How on earth did Viktor Axelsson win that rally?
That killed off any chance of Chou's fight back as Axelsson booked his ticket into the final.
He's done it on his second match point.
Standing in his way is Thailand's Kunlavut Vichitsan, who was writing his own fairy tale. The 3-time junior world champion had dethroned the title holder, Singapore's Loh Kian Yew, in the quarterfinals. Axelsson, however, wasted little time in showing his superiority. After leading 7-4, he restricted Vichitsan to just 1 more point en route to taking the first game.
Opening game, 21-5.
The Thai lifted his game in the second, avoiding another lopsided scoreline. But he simply had no answer to Axelsson's brilliance here.
That is extraordinary defence from Viktor Axelsson.
Vichitsan stayed determined to force a decider.
Good play.
Axelsson was hardly flustered though, and his big match experience came through as he pulled away and won on his 5th match point. Axelsson, an epitome of mental toughness all week, has a 2nd world title to his name. Remarkably, he did it all without dropping a game, and in the process extended his winning streak to 38 matches.
I want to reach my full potential. I want to become as good as I possibly can. And then outside the court, I want to, obviously also get better and better. Now being a dad is a big job for me, and I try to be the best dad I can possibly be. And that's what I want.
Akane Yamaguchi came to Tokyo still looking to rediscover the form that bagged her the All England title back in March. Having suffered back-to-back losses to Indonesia's Gregoria Mariska Tunjung in July's Malaysia Open and Malaysia Masters, the Japanese faced her bogey opponent again in the first hurdle of her title defense. Tunjung's hopes of a hat-trick over Yamaguchi, though, were swiftly crushed.
Oh my goodness! How is this rally still in progress? That's amazing.
A comfortable win for Yamaguchi in just 34 minutes.
Converts on her first opportunity.
The world number 1 next took on Sayaka Takahashi in the round of 16, and it was smooth sailing for Yamaguchi as she notched her 10th win in a row over her compatriot. Next in line was 3-time world champion Carolina Marin, who has a 7-5 advantage in their past meetings. Both shuttlers proved inseparable in the early exchanges.
She heard you.
Maybe I'm talking too loud.
The turning point came after some delicate plays from Yamaguchi. Up 13-12, Yamaguchi pulled away with 6 straight points and would go on to take the first game.
3rd time of asking.
Having missed last year's edition in her home city of Huelva due to an injury, Marin found renewed energy to go 7-5 up in the 2nd game. But Yamaguchi waited for the right moment to pounce. It duly arrived with the game locked at 13-all. That backhand net kill seemingly took the wind out of Marin's sails. Despite a mini comeback in the late stages from the Spaniard, Yamaguchi held firm for a 21-17, 21-17 victory. On to the semi-finals as Yamaguchi faced the familiar foe, An Se-young. The opening game turned out to be a battle of attrition as both players refused to give an inch. But with the scores deadlocked 19-all, Yamaguchi steamed ahead with 2 unanswered points.
Oh, she's done it again.
Yeah. The first after an intriguing rally. First blood to Yamaguchi. Neutrals hoping for an equally exciting 2nd game were left disappointed as Yamaguchi turned on the jets. Up by 7 at the break, the gap proved the bridge too far for An as Yamaguchi secured the 21-19, 21-12 victory. So then to the final, where Yamaguchi needed 1 more win to become the first Japanese female with multiple singles world titles. Standing in her way was old adversary Chen Yifei. The Chinese was seeking to become her country's first world champion in this event since 2011. She was keeping pace with the Japanese in the early exchanges. The smash here getting her to just 2 points behind. But Yamaguchi hit top gear from then on as the gap ballooned. (21-12), first game to the Japanese.
Oh.
That's going to land wide. Opening game to the home favourite.
Chen, also the reigning Olympic champion, recomposed herself and went for the jugular in the 2nd game. Yamaguchi found herself on the back foot for the first time all week as the pendulum swung Chen's way. Chen forced a decider, And it was also the first game Yamaguchi had dropped in the tournament. The home crowd was understandably getting fidgety, but their worries were unfounded as Yamaguchi jumped to an 8-1 lead.
Brilliant. Oh my goodness!
Missed it again.
That is just fabulous from Akane Yamaguchi.
Chun came out fighting after the break, but Yamaguchi was in no charitable mood.
And was that almost a little celebration there from Akane Yamaguchi?
Yamaguchi kept the crown intact following a week of resolute displays. With the win, she also atoned for her home Olympics disappointment.
この大会が始まる前は、それを考えてしまうと、自分にとってはプレッシャーだったり緊張につながってしまうのかなと思ってたので、今日終わるまではあんまり考えないようにしてたんですけど、終わって観客席見てすごく嬉しかったですし、よかったです。はい。
Coming up, Aaron Xia loves his lucky ground.
Maybe the whole year, all tournament, we make it in Tokyo.
Plus, the Tokyo Olympics women's and mixed doubles silver medalists strike gold this time to become 3-time world champions. Welcome back to the TotalEnergies BWF World Championships 2022 review show, as we revisit the best moments at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium from our freshly crowned champions. Tokyo Olympics bronze medalists Aaron Xia and So Wee-yik were one of Malaysia's best hopes to win the country's first World Championships title. They were made to work very hard in their opening test, toiling to a 22-20, 21-18 win over Chinese Taipei's Lu Qingyao and Yang Po-han. The number 6 seeds next took on compatriots Go Zufei and Noor Izzuddin in the last 16. And grinded out a 21-17, 21-19 victory. They faced Korea's Choi So-gyu and Seo Seong-jae in the quarterfinals, who they had beaten in all 3 previous meetings. The Koreans dominated the proceedings early on, but deft touches from the Malaysians at critical moments saw them taking the opening game, 21-18. Neither pair could make a decisive breakthrough in the second game until this deceptive shot from Xia. It was the first of 4 unanswered points and propelled the so-called nearly men of Malaysian badminton into the semi-final.
Guaranteed a bronze medal for Malaysia here.
Their semi-final record this year, however, has been patchy with 6 defeats in 7. And they didn't have the best of starts against India's Sakwik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty, who claimed the opener. Xia and So improved considerably in the second game, staying ahead in most parts of this game and forcing a decider after this drama.
Wow, what a time for that to happen. 1 game all it is.
The 2 tandems were neck and neck in the third, and it was here the tie had its pivotal moment.
Oh, it's totally open.
Wow, total confusion on the Indian side of the net.
Xia and So secured 5 of the next 6 points to end the 78-minute contest and book a spot in the final.
What a titanic battle between these 2 pairs.
The semi-final curse has been lifted. To the finale for a showdown with 3-time champions Indonesia's Muhammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan. After 7 losses in their first 8 meetings, Xia and So have somewhat figured out their Indonesian counterparts and replied with back-to-back wins, one of which was the Olympic bronze medal battle. One of the daddies' strongest assets is their big match experience, and it was put to good use as they navigated their way to a 16-11 lead.
Oi, look at that.
Believe it! What on earth was that from Aaron Chia?
But Chia and So were unfazed as they stopped the bleed.
Well, it was a great return of serve.
With the daddies leading 19-18, Chia and So refused to cave in under pressure.
Oh, he's missed it. It's gone under the net.
Chia and So smelling blood now, and their bold offensive strokes at a crucial juncture paid off handsomely.
And they've taken it.
First game to Malaysia. The daddies regrouped and continued to attack in the second game, only for Chia and So to repel everything thrown at them. The daddies couldn't cope with the wave of counterattacks, and the Malaysian pair would bring up championship points. 21-19, 21-14, the final score. History was made as Chia and So became Malaysia's first world champions.
We worked hard really long and we didn't get it, and now finally we get it. It's really, I think, it's a dream. It's a dream to be a world champion, I think.
Last year, we got the bronze medal in Tokyo. And this year, we got the gold medal for World Championship in Tokyo. I think Tokyo is a lucky place for us. Maybe the whole year, all tournament, we make it in Tokyo.
In women's doubles, two-time champions Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan of China were on a mission to repeat their remarkable success in Huelva last year. After receiving a first-round bye, the top-ranked pair looked sharp and focused in their first outing against India's Ashwini Ponnappa and Reddy Nsiki. They dominated proceedings from the start and advanced to the third round without much trouble, winning 21-15, 21-10. The Chinese duo then thrashed Denmark's Maiken Friegaard and Sarah Thiessen with a similar scoreline, before claiming yet another comprehensive win over Thailand's Jongkopan Kititarakul and Rawinda Prajongjai. Chen and Chia were beaten by the Thais at the Indonesia Open in June, but their solid performance this time around gave their opponents no chance to repeat an upset. It set up a showdown of the champions, as the Chinese faced 2018 and 2019 winners Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara in the semi-final. This much-anticipated matchup, however, was not able to live up to its billing, as the sixth-seeded Japanese duo were not at their best throughout the match. Chen and Chia, on the contrary, were ruthless in their attack. Chia's backcourt smash in particular had caused a lot of trouble for the home side. Chen, meanwhile, was fired up as usual.
Got them back going again, though.
They took a 4-point lead at the interval before wrapping up the first game, 21-13.
And a lot of work to do for Matsumoto and Nagahara.
The second game followed a similar pattern, as the Japanese pair simply had no answer to Chia's superb attack. Time and time again, miscommunications like this happened between Matsumoto and Nagahara. The defending champions eventually took the second game 21-14 and booked the spot in the final to face Korea's Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young. It's a rematch of the semi-final clash between the pairs at the Tokyo Olympics. Kim and Kong were outclassed by Chen and Chia last year, but they were much more competitive in this title match.
Beautiful drop, and they're back level.
The scoreline was close throughout the first game as they battled back and forth and pulled level on 10 occasions. Down 19-20, Chen saved a game point with a drop shot to take it to deuce.
Well, oh my goodness. Slip there from Kong Hee-young.
Chen and Jia then took the next 2 points to gain the upper hand, winning the first game 22-20.
And they take it.
They would carry the momentum into the second, running away with a healthy 4-point lead at the interval and never looking back.
Yeah.
They had 6 championship points at 2014 and would take it at the first time of asking.
Here we go. clearly in.
Chen's serve was in after checking back the review. The world #1 Chinese pair were crowned world champions for the third time in their career, after also winning in 2017 and 2021.
去年，因为我去年在备战世锦赛之前，其实我是受伤了的。
对，
我一堂课都没有练，说实话。
就那一段时间赛前的那个。
赛前我是一堂，因为我们隔离出来之后，然后我就受伤了，然后我就一堂课没有练，我也没有想到我去年可以
大量的练，也不是没有练，
所以去年也没有说想。
心态好，去年是。
我很意外，真的，包括今年的话，
今年就心态差了点。
人的欲望和野心是无限的，
对，
所以你总想让自己会变得更好，
对，
但是你要付出多少才会让自己变得更好呢？这就是从中的奥秘，奥秘。
Speaking of the secret of success, Chinese mixed pairing Zheng Siwei and Huang Yaqiong would surely know a thing or two. The top seeds were determined to redeem themselves after a surprise second-round exit at the last edition in Huelva. The pair were dismantled following the upset defeat, but they've been in irresistible form since reuniting in March. The two-time champions arrived in Japan on the back of 6 straight titles and a 30-match unbeaten streak. The hot favourites kicked off their campaign with a straight games win over Thies van der Leck and Deborah Yile from the Netherlands. They then had to battle it out against Thailand's Supat Jomko and Supisara Pusampran. They were forced to play a decider after comfortably taking the first game 21-9. But Zheng and Huang were able to keep their composure, winning the last 2 points at 19-all to clinch a berth in the quarter-finals. The winning machines then thumped Malaysian duo Pan Kianming and Lai Beijing in less than half an hour to book a place in the semi-final. Zheng and Huang were so dominant in this matchup, claiming 13 points in succession to close out the first game before sealing the tie 21-9, 21-9. That set up an all-Chinese encounter in the last 4, which was also a rematch of the Tokyo Olympics final.
Brilliant. Found the gap.
Wang Yiliu and Huang Dongping triumphed in the 3-game slugfest back then to claim the gold medal. Just like last summer, the pairs had to go the distance. But this time around, Zheng and Huang stepped up another gear to win 21-10 in the decider and reached their 7th final in their last 7 tournaments. They were up against home favourites Yuta Watanabe and Arisa Higashino. Zheng and Huang had a dominant head-to-head record against the Japanese duo, having won 10 of 12 matches.
Yeah, that's brilliant from Zheng Siwei.
And they were on top from the start, making shots as intended and appeared to have better communication. Watanabe found it tough to hit through their Chinese opponents from the back of the court. And from this long rally, Zheng was able to find a way to turn defense into attack, even though they failed to win this point.
Brilliant defense, brilliant. And that's wonderful mixed doubles.
The 2018 and 2019 champions opened up an 8-point lead after the interval and eventually took the first game 21-13 in just 17 minutes.
That's a beauty again from Huang Yaqiong.
Watanabe and Higashino made a better start to the second game and took the lead at the early stage, but Zheng and Huang responded well and made a turnaround. The scoreline remained close after the interval. Watanabe's powerful smash here saw them retake the lead and get the crowd going.
And into the lead.
But Zheng and Huang were quick to react, and they reeled off the next 5 points in a row, shutting the door on any comeback. The Chinese converted their first championship point opportunity and won the world title for the 3rd time with a 21-13, 21-16 victory.
And they equal Zhang Nan and Zhang Yunlei. A 4th medal for Zheng Siwei.
心情非常的激动，非常的开心，然后自己现在也终于觉得有点释放了，然后有点轻松了。因为这一次世锦赛，其实无论从过程还是从我们自身，就是从年初开始到现在整一个的状态的恢复，其实都是非常的不容易。所以我觉得真的有点像我们18年第一次拿世锦赛的时候那种心情。
就去年的世锦赛开始，然后结束之后，其实我们俩中间有一段拆队的情况，所以不管有没有配在一起，其实我们在1月份的时候都是为了更好的自己，然后去做努力。那所以现在我觉得我们又配回来的时候，其实我觉得也有一个好的就是体现吧。
Our heartiest congratulations to the world champions of 2022. The best in the world, and they are still looking to keep improving. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again next year in Copenhagen.